Good day. So today I'm going to show you how to solve equations with sets, right? So the thing about this type of equations is that yes, they are easy to solve, but you have to be careful of one thing. Every time you say the square root sign, at the end you have to verify that your answer is right. There might not have been a mistake that you made, maybe you did everything perfect, but yet the answer is wrong. Literally, these things exist. So let me show you what exactly am I talking about. So of course, when you have something like this, you have to square both sides, right? So if they give you this stuff, you have to square both sides. And of course, the square will cancel the square root. Then we're going to be left with x plus 5, which is equals to 25. And then you take that 5 to the other side. Then it's going to be 25 minus 5, which is just going to be 20. So we found x. Then let's verify that it is correct. So that's the thing with this type of questions. No wonder even Platinum will tell you whenever they give you these questions, they'll even put in brackets, remember to check. So this is the question where you have to check. So our original equation that was given here was the square root of 5, or rather the square root of x plus 5. So you're given that the square root of x plus 5 is equals to 5. So let's verify. So if we put 20 there, it's going to be 20 plus 5, which is the square root of 25, which will indeed give you 5. So then, because it's equal, this is valid. So here is an example. So when you have something like this, our first goal is to isolate the square root. What do I mean by isolating it? What I mean by isolating is that you have to make it alone on one side of the equation, meaning that you have to make it the subject of the formula. So our goal is to isolate that. So in order to isolate that, we have to take everything to the other side. So this minus x is going to become plus x. And then that is minus 2, so it's going to become 2. So let me show you something further about isolating. What if there was a 2 in front? Let's just say there was a 2 in front. If there was a 2 in front, you have to isolate them together. If there was a 2 multiplying the square root, or if there was any number multiplying the square root, you have to isolate them, right? So you will have to isolate them together. Why am I saying together? Why not just divide both sides by 2 so that we can just isolate only the square root, so that we can be left with only the square root? The reason why is because if you divide by 2, you'll end up having a fraction. So to avoid further complications, whenever there is something in front of the square root multiplying the square root, you have to isolate them together. So for now, there is no number in front of the square root. Just before I continue, if you want to be tutored, either online or physically, online it doesn't matter where you are or which country you are at, you can still be tutored. So we offer cheap online lessons, and if you want to be tutored physically, we can still make an arrangement. So call or WhatsApp this number, but preferably please WhatsApp this number, and then we will take it from there. So what I do is that I tutor people 5 days a week online, and I give tests once a week so that I can check your improvements. So after isolating, we square them. So the first step is to isolate, second step is to square. So when we square, the square root cancel the square root, then we're going to be left with minus x plus 10 is equals to, I'm using a shortcut here. If you want to learn how to do the shortcut, I'm going to provide the video in the description below. Just below the topic, you'll see the description. Just below the topic of this video, you'll see the description. And in the description, there will be the link to the video on how to do the shortcut. So, but of course, you can still multiply using 2 brackets and stuff. So this is what this is going to become. So every time we've got x and x squared, we know it's going to be quadratic. We know that we have to take everything to one side of the equation. So then this is going to be x squared. If I take minus x, that side is going to become plus. So therefore, it's going to become 5x, cos x plus 4x is 5x. Then if I take minus 10 to the other side, it's going to be, if I take 10 to the other side, it's going to be minus 10. So 4 minus 10 is minus 6. And then from here, I have to factorize. So let's factorize. So this is going to be x and x. Okay, so since there's a minus, it's going to be 6 and 1. If there was a plus, I would take 3 and 2. Because they add to give you 5, 6, and 1 minus is to give you 5. Alright, so then the sign of the bigger number goes to the middle number. the sign of the middle number goes to the bigger number rather, and then this one's going to be a minus. So let's find our answer. So then it means that x is equals to minus 6 or x is equals to 1. But after we get the answer here, even though we have done everything correctly, we still have to check because the question has got the square root sign. So let's check if the left hand side is equals to the right hand side. So if I substitute minus 6 here, right, it's going to be positive 6, and then minus 6 here is going to be positive 6. So 6 plus 10 is 16. So here you can also type it in the calculator. If you substitute minus 6, so let's just substitute. So we're going to have minus 6 plus square root. We don't have to show them the substitution. We just have to substitute and verify and tell them whether both of them work or only one of them work, or whether both of them don't work. Okay, so this is going to be 6. This is going to be square root of 16. I'm just going straight to the point. Then this is going to be 6 plus 4. You see, this is going to be 6 plus 4 minus 2. So then this is 8. So this part will give you 8 if you substitute minus 6. So it's 8, and it's not the same as the right hand side. So therefore, it means here we'll say no solution. Not no solutions, we will say not applicable, right? There's an extra mark for this. So please be careful of that. Okay, let's substitute 1 and see if it will work. So if you substitute 1, this is going to be minus 1 plus minus 1 plus 10 is 9. So the square root of 9 is 3 minus 2. So 1 minus, so this is actually going to be 0. So the left hand side will be equal to the right hand side, meaning that this one works, right? So literally, you'll say not applicable for this. There's 1 mark for it. And then here it works. There are situations where both sides don't work and it will be not applicable for both of them. And then you just write no solution, literally. So yes, this is easy, but it's easy to forget to check in the exam. Most people forget to check and they lose 1 mark. All right, here is a third example. So when we have something like this, we know that we have to isolate this part, right? So we have to isolate the 2 with the square root. So then we have to make it the subject of the formula. So therefore, we're going to say x plus 4 is equals to 4 plus 16. So this is just going to be 20. All right, here is another example. So whenever we have something like this, we know we have to isolate the square root. Now we have to isolate it together with the 2 because the 2 is multiplying the square root. So meaning that we have to make it the subject of the formula. And then when we take this to the other side, we can write it as 4 plus x, or you can write it as x plus 4. Well, I prefer to write it as x plus 4. All right, then from there, after isolating, we have to square both sides. But now this is the mistake that most students make. The mistake that most students make is that they will square this and they will say it's gonna be 2x plus 4, but that's wrong. The reason why it's wrong, it's because they forgot to square this. Whenever you're squaring everything in brackets, everything must be squared, right? So therefore, the square cancels the square root. At the same time, the square multiplies. The square will also deal with that. So it's going to be 2 squared, which is 4. So this part is critical. Square everything in the bracket. Don't only square this part. Square also this. So this is going to be 4, right? 2 squared is 4. And then this squared, the square cancels it and it leaves this. So then this side, using the shortcut again, is going to be that plus 8x plus 16. The shortcut is beneficial to learn so that you don't waste the time multiplying. Some people might say, what if I make a mistake using the shortcut? The longer something is, the greater the chances of mistakes. This, when you learn it, you'll just get used to it. And it's short, so there will be less chances of making mistakes. All right, so then we have to distribute. So then this is going to be 4x plus 16. And then this is going to be x squared. Besides, there's no mark for showing the long cut. So yeah. Then this is going to be that plus 16. All right, so now since we've got x and x squared, we know we have to take everything to one side of the equation. So therefore, this is going to be 8x minus 4x, which is 4x. And then 16 and 16, wow, it goes off. So it just remains this stuff. So now we have to solve. So we know that this thing we have to factorize. then it means we've got our two solutions. So we've got x is equals to 0 or x is equals to 4. Okay, now let's verify. So if I take 0 and I substitute it there, it's gonna be 2 times the square root of 4, which is 2. So 2 times the square root of 2 times 2 is 4. And then 4 minus 0 is 4. Well, it works actually. So this one works. What about the 4? So 4 plus 4 is 16. So square root of 16, 4 plus 4 is not 16, it's 8. Okay, so 4 plus 4 is 8. Then square root of 8 is 2 root 2. So you can use the calculator. I'm just using my mind. So then it's going to be 4 root 2. 4 root 2 minus 4 cannot be 4. So we know that this one is going to be not applicable. You can just verify that. I was just using my brain. Alright, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to my channel so that you can get more videos like this.